The bell rang like thunder through the Tokyo Dome. 70,000 people held their breath as Naoya Inoue stood in the corner, his face calm as still water. Across the ring, Marcus, the Beast Thompson, bounced on his toes, undefeated in 28 fights, his muscles rippling under the bright lights. But something was different tonight. Something that made veteran boxing fans lean forward in their seats, sensing history about to unfold. Marcus had spent the entire week before the fight mocking Inoue. This little Japanese fighter? I'll crush him in 3 rounds. He'd laughed at the press conference, flexing for the cameras. He's never faced someone like me. I'm the monster here, not him. Before we dive deeper into this incredible story, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss tales of courage, humility, and justice being served. Now, let's see what happened when arrogance met true skill in the ring that night. The crowd roared as the referee called both fighters to the center. Marcus towered over Inoue by 6 inches, his reach advantage obvious to everyone watching. The American champion grinned, talking trash even as the referee gave instructions. "You're done, little man," Marcus whispered, loud enough for the front row to hear. "I'm going to embarrass you in front of your own people." Inoue said nothing. He simply bowed with respect, his eyes never leaving his opponent's face. In that moment, some of the older Japanese fans nodded knowingly. They had seen this quiet confidence before. It was the mark of a true master. Naoya Inoue was born in 1993 in Zama, Kanagawa, Japan. His father, Shingo, was a boxing trainer who had never achieved fame himself, but dedicated his life to perfecting the science of the sport. From the age of 6, young Naoya spent every afternoon in his father's small gym, watching fighters train, learning to read body language before he could read advanced kanji. "Boxing is not about anger," his father would tell him, wrapping the small boy's hands with care. "It's about respect. Respect for your opponent, respect for the sport, and respect for yourself. A true champion never needs to boast because his fists speak louder than his words." While other children played video games, Naoya studied footage of legendary fighters. Muhammad Ali's footwork, Mike Tyson's devastating power, Sugar Ray Robinson's perfect timing. His father made him watch these matches in silence, teaching him to see what others missed. "See how Ali moves?" His father would point at the old television screen. "He doesn't waste energy. Every step has purpose. Every punch is calculated." This is the difference between a brawler and a boxer. By age 15, Naoya had an amateur record that caught national attention. But more importantly, he carried himself with a humility that seemed old-fashioned in modern sports. He bowed to opponents before and after matches. He never celebrated until his rival had been checked by doctors. He thanked his coaches before his own parents. Meanwhile, across the Pacific Ocean, Marcus Thompson was building a very different reputation. Born in Las Vegas, he'd grown up watching the flashy showmanship of modern boxing. He learned that trash talk sold tickets, that arrogance brought attention, that being the bad guy meant bigger paychecks. Nice guys finish last in this sport, his promoter told him early in his career. "You want to make real money? You need to be the villain everyone wants to see get knocked out. That's how you fill seats." Marcus embraced this philosophy completely. Before every fight, he would insult his opponents, mock their countries, disrespect their families. He'd push fighters at weigh-ins, throw punches during referee instructions, and celebrate knockouts with theatrical dancing. His record was perfect, 28 wins, 24 by knockout. But his reputation outside the ring was terrible. Other fighters refused to train with him. Gyms banned him for disrespecting coaches. Fellow boxers would walk away when he entered restaurants, not wanting to be associated with his behavior. "I don't care if they like me," Marcus would laugh at press conferences. "I care that they buy tickets to watch me fight. And trust me, everyone wants to see if someone can finally beat the beast." The fight was arranged after months of negotiations. Inoue had been called the monster by Japanese fans for his devastating knockout power, combined with technical brilliance. When Marcus heard this nickname, he became obsessed with proving who the real monster was. At the press conference 3 days before the fight, Marcus arrived 2 hours late, claiming he'd been too busy training to bother with media nonsense. When he finally appeared, He wore sunglasses indoors and chewed gum disrespectfully throughout the event. In no way. He laughed when asked about his opponent. I've seen his tapes. Looks impressive beating up smaller Asian fighters, but he's never faced American power. I'm bigger, stronger, faster. This is going to be embarrassing for him. The Japanese reporters bristled at the casual racism in his words, but in no way remained perfectly calm. When asked to respond, he simply said, I have great respect for Mr. Thompson's record. It will be an honor to share the ring with such an accomplished fighter. May the best man win. This humble response only made Marcus angrier. See, no fire, no passion. He's already beaten in his mind. I'm going to knock him out so fast, people will ask for refunds. Inoue's father, sitting in the back of the press room, smiled slightly. He had seen this pattern before. The loudest fighters often had the most to hide. True confidence didn't need volume. The first round began with Marcus charging forward like a bull, throwing heavy punches meant to intimidate rather than strategically score points. His left hook whistled through empty air as Inoue slipped it smoothly, moving just enough to avoid contact while staying close enough to counter. Stand still and fight. Marcus shouted, frustrated that his power shots weren't landing. The Tokyo Dome crowd murmured with concern. Marcus was so much bigger, his punches looked devastating even when they missed. Could their champion really survive against this aggressive American monster? Round 2 saw Marcus land his first significant punch, a right hand that caught Inoue on the shoulder. The impact was tremendous, the sound echoing through the arena. Marcus raised his arms in premature celebration, dancing around the ring as if he'd already won. That's what I'm talking about, he shouted toward Inoue's corner. Your little champion can't take my power. But Inoue simply reset his stance, his expression unchanged. In his corner between rounds, his father spoke quietly. He telegraphs everything. His pride makes him predictable. Be patient. Let him exhaust himself. Rounds 3 and 4 followed the same pattern. Marcus would charge forward, throwing wild combinations with bad intentions behind every punch. Inoue would slip, dodge, and occasionally counter with quick jabs that didn't seem powerful but were strategically placed to disrupt Marcus's rhythm. The American fighter grew increasingly frustrated. His corner screamed at him to set up your shots and stop loading up. But his ego wouldn't let him fight smart. Every missed punch made him angrier. Every successful Inoue counter made him more reckless. What's wrong, monster? Marcus taunted in round 5. You scared to trade with me? All that hype about Japanese warrior spirit, but you're just running. The crowd booed this disrespect, but Inoue remained focused. He had learned from his father that boxing was like chess, not checkers. Every move had consequences, 3 steps ahead. By round 6, something began to change. Marcus's punches, while still powerful, were slowing slightly. His footwork, never his strength, became even sloppier. He was breathing heavily between combinations, his mouth open wide to gulp air. Inoue, meanwhile, looked fresh. His breathing was controlled, his movements still crisp. He began landing combinations more frequently. Quick jabs followed by body shots that made Marcus wince even though he tried to hide it. Body work. Inoue's father had taught him since childhood. Break down the foundation, and the whole building collapses. Patient fighters win long fights. Round 7 brought the first real sign of doubt in Marcus's eyes. Inoue landed a perfect left hook to the liver that made the American fighter freeze for a split second, his face contorted in pain. It wasn't a knockdown, but everyone in the arena recognized it. Marcus was hurt. Get out of there, his corner screamed. Circle away. Don't engage. But Marcus's pride wouldn't let him retreat. Instead, he tried to fire back with a desperate overhand right that missed by a foot, leaving him completely off balance. Inoue could have countered viciously, but chose not to, simply resetting to his stance. This mercy only enraged Marcus more. Fight me like a man, he shouted, spitting out his mouthguard in frustration before the referee ordered him to replace it. Rounds 8 and 9 saw Marcus's spirit breaking in real time. His trash talk had stopped. His theatrical celebrations were gone. Now he was just surviving, trying to make it to the final bell, with his undefeated record intact. But Inoue wasn't satisfied with a decision victory. His father had taught him that respect must be earned completely. Half measures meant nothing in the ring. Round 10 began with Marcus looking genuinely worried for the first time in his career. His corner had screamed at him between rounds, "You're losing this fight. You need a knockout to win." But his body was betrayed by exhaustion and accumulated damage from Inoue's precise body shots. His legs, once so strong and springy, now felt heavy. His arms, which had thrown hundreds of power punches, now ached with fatigue. Inoue came out of his corner with new intensity in his eyes. His father had given simple instructions. "He's ready. Finish with honor." The Japanese fighter began pressing forward for the first time in the match, cutting off the ring with footwork so perfect that Marcus had nowhere to run. A left jab snapped the American's head back. A right cross made his knees buckle slightly. "No, no, no," Marcus mumbled to himself, realizing his nightmare was coming true. Inoue unleashed a combination that would be studied in boxing gyms for years afterward. A jab to get Marcus's hands up, a left hook to the body that made him drop his guard, and then a perfect right hand that landed flush on the chin. Marcus Thompson, the undefeated beast, the trash-talking villain who had mocked an entire nation, fell backward like a tree being cut down. His body hit the canvas with a thud that seemed to shake the entire Tokyo Dome. The referee didn't even bother counting. Marcus's eyes were glazed, his legs twitching. The fight was over. 70,000 people exploded in celebration, their roar so loud that it could be heard blocks away from the arena. Japanese flags waved throughout the crowd. Strangers hugged each other with joy. Elderly men who'd watched boxing for 50 years wiped tears from their eyes. But Naoya Inoue didn't celebrate. Instead, he immediately walked to Marcus's corner, waiting respectfully until the American fighter regained consciousness. When Marcus finally sat up, confused and defeated, Inoue extended his hand. "You are a great fighter," Inoue said in English, his voice sincere. "Thank you for this match. You made me better tonight." Marcus stared at this hand for a long moment, his ego and pride wrestling with respect and humility. Slowly, he reached up and took it, allowing Inoue to help him to his feet. The crowd's cheering somehow grew even louder at this display of sportsmanship. This was what they loved about their champion. Not just his skill, but his character. The post-fight interview became legendary in boxing history. Marcus Thompson, his face swollen and pride demolished, stood beside Naoya Inoue as reporters asked questions. "Marcus, you spent the entire week saying this would be an easy fight. What happened in there?" The American fighter took a deep breath, and for the first time in his career, spoke without arrogance. "I learned something tonight. I learned that real strength doesn't come from muscles or trash talk. It comes from discipline, respect, and years of dedicated training." He turned to Inoue with genuine admiration. "This man never raised his voice once, never disrespected me, but he taught me the hardest lesson I've ever learned. I thought being the bad guy made me powerful. All it did was make me predictable." Inoue bowed slightly. "We are both warriors. Tonight, I was fortunate. Another night, the result might be different. This is the beauty of boxing." But everyone knew this humility was part of what made Inoue great. He had proven beyond doubt who the real monster was, yet he refused to gloat or diminish his opponent. In the weeks following the fight, something remarkable happened. Marcus Thompson began training at a traditional boxing gym in Los Angeles, one that emphasized discipline and respect over showmanship. He started arriving early, staying late, and listening to coaches instead of arguing. 6 months later, when Marcus fought again, he entered the ring with a simple bow to his opponent. No trash talk, no theatrical gestures, just respect and focus. He won by decision in a technical, controlled performance that earned him more genuine praise than all his knockout victories combined. "Inoue changed my life," Marcus told reporters afterward. "He showed me that you can be humble and still be a champion. Actually, being humble makes you a better champion because you never stop learning." Meanwhile, Inoue continued his career with the same quiet excellence that had always defined him. He defended his titles multiple times, never once letting success change his character. Before every fight, he would bow to his opponent. After every victory, he would help his rival to their feet. His father, now elderly but still in his corner for every match, would smile with satisfaction. This is what I tried to teach you from the beginning. True strength doesn't need to announce itself. It simply is. The story of that night in Tokyo spread far beyond boxing. Business leaders used it in seminars about leadership. Teachers showed the footage in classes about character. Parents told their children about the humble champion, who let his actions speak louder than words. Because in the end, the greatest lesson wasn't about boxing techniques or physical conditioning. It was about the power of respect, the dignity of humility, and the truth that real monsters don't roar and threaten. They simply show up, do the work, and let their excellence speak for itself. If this story of humility defeating arrogance inspired you, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Share this with someone who needs to remember that true strength comes from character, not volume. Drop a comment below telling us about a time when quiet confidence proved more powerful than loud boasting. Your story might inspire our next video. Remember, respect is not about being weak. It's about being strong enough to let your actions do the talking. The real monsters in life are the ones who never need to tell you they're monsters. You just know it when you see them in action.